All right, man. Since we have a rabbi here who have always been saying a whole lot of things, and he has something to say about Putin today that I want us to listen to. Not just a backstory. Recently we've had issues where countries in Africa are, on the fence in the sense that they don't know where to turn to. Should we turn to Russia? Should we turn to America? And I think I've been here and I've been telling you here that it is better that we turn to Russia for help, for support against security challenges in the continent. Instead of looking at America as savior, or because they say, oh, Christians have been on alive, we run and agree to America's support. It is better we agree to Russia's support. That is, if Russia will be willing to give a helping hand. We have seen the relationship between Russia and the Sahel. We have seen how Russia had never let the Sahel down when it comes to security challenges. Remember when Mali was in a fix where the insurgents, the terrorists themselves made videos and circulated it that they want to take hold of Mali. They are ready to take hold of Mali. How do you think Mali came out of that situation? Because these people were ready. They were supported. They were supported with everything possible to take over Mali so that they can hand it over to the foreign bodies that are supporting them with ammunition. But how do you think Mali came out of that? It is because Mali worked together with her close brothers, the AES, the Niger, Burkina Faso, and the supervision of the Russian army. This was how the Malian government became victorious. Because Putin never say, I'm going to help you and turn his back on you. Putin never come to you and say, okay, I'm going to help you. And at the end, begin to play games with you. I know a lot of you don't like Putin because of what the world has made Putin look like. All thanks to mainstream medias, we grew up to, especially where we never understood geopolitics to a particular level. We saw Putin as a very, a very wicked tyrant who don't like humanity. It was later on in life that when I began to understand how this whole thing works, that I got to know that they were just trying to paint Putin as a bad person so that whatever he says, both then and the future, nobody believes him. And you saw the blow that Putin gave to them not long ago. You know that blow, right? When he said, you claim that you are the chosen children. You claim that white supremacy is the one in charge of the world. Everything that has to do with power and strength and origin came from you. But that is a lie. It is the melanated people that are what you claim you are. So you're stealing the identity of another person. Anyway, that's another discussion. So it is better to trust Putin than trusting another person. And I had the opinions of Adamu Garba bro here, and he said the same thing. Adamu Garba said the same thing. The geopolitical analyst, the former aspirant of the Nigerian presidency, he said something that it is better African countries delve towards Russia than delving towards America or France or any other country in Europe and America. And I know America is not happy with this because the more you delve towards Russia, you delve towards China. And already we know that there is a red line between Russia and the US and then China and the US because Russia and China are working together to support Africa. Even though they are Chinese who are in different countries in Africa doing some illegal things that we know, but they are still not preferable to Europe and America. To tell you the truth, this is the fact that I've gathered for some time now. That in all the dealings between Europe and America, at the end, they are always betraying countries in Africa and taking advantage of them. For a fact.
Every country who took Russia as their protection, they never let them down. Putin is full of ego. He's a dictator. There's no question about it. You have to be a genius to understand. Very similar to Trump. But one thing you want to know is that Putin, every person that shook his hand, he was loyal to him. He doesn't stab people in the back like United States does to all their friends. He stuck with Assad even when he gassed his own people. You have a covenant with me, I'll defend you to the end. He stuck with Iran, you are my customers, you pay me billions of dollars to build you nuclear and all that things. No matter what happened, I'm with you to the end. Every country who took Russia as their protection, they never let them down. Every country that took United States to protect them, they stabbed them in the back. What that happened to this country, they bring it on themselves. You are an ungrateful trader.
I hope Nigerians are hearing this. I hope Nigerians are hearing this. I keep telling you here, Nigerians, be careful for what you wish for when it comes to America getting involved in your issue. But because they feel like, okay, the situation is out of hand. America, please come. Donald Trump, please come and save us. Donald Trump became God to Nigerians. It was a funny sight. It was an annoying sight to the point where learned people who are, old to a particular level who should understand, were busy crying for Trump to come and save them. Your Majesties, I hope you hear. This is from a rabbi, a man who understands what is going on around the world, because they are part of those who orchestrate. They know what and what. And someone was saying that, what did this man take today that he's speaking the truth? Because he have always been speaking out of point most of the times, especially when it comes to, anyway. But this is the truth he has said, whether it is coming from him or from anybody. This is the truth. We have seen this evolve from time past, that Putin, Russia, especially when it has to even do with countries in Africa, Russia is the best ally. As you are tilting or delving towards America and France, you have to be careful, because there is no way America get involved in your case and you remain the same. I have been saying this here. Look at what they did to Guatemala. People that have a heart does such a thing to fellow human beings like them. Like these people, they're going to so deal with you that you would be so confused that your reasoning will be damaged. The moment you allow America get involved in your case, especially when it has to do with, okay, come and help us fight insurgencies, come and get involved in our politics, come and outrightly now, you call them outrightly or you allow them to come outrightly to come and get involved. You have sold your peace. And you will never have peace anymore. The moment America get involved in your case, that is confusion for life. And that is why we keep saying it here. Yes, we know something is going on in West Africa. Something is going on in Nigeria. Even the Sahel are wise enough to kick out America. And Nigeria as a country want to allow America to come in. Do we see things at all? Do we know what is going on at all? Do we learn from the Sahel at all? Why do you think the Sahel kick out America and France? Because they were their nightmare. Now, after they kick out America and France, look at how they are doing. Even though they are still getting pushed back from these two nations or superior bodies, America and France are still doing everything, paying terrorists to come. But because they are partnershiping with, they had a partnership with Russia. Look at the way they are dealing with all those terrorists. Those who have agreed to collect money and sell their homeland, they are unaliving them like animals in the bush. The Sahel goes to understand that involving America and France was not for their growth, and that is why they agitated for America and France to get out of their homeland. And then here we are today. Nigeria as a country with a lot of learned people are agreeing and welcoming America to come and save them. Your Majesties, I don't know how we think, but anyway, let's listen to this one.
I believe that China is a global threat that must be confronted globally. And that means region by region, territory by territory, and nation by nation. The challenges posed by China and Africa are vast. However, there are also immense opportunities. for advancing America's national security interests. Today's hearing focuses on China's dominance of critical minerals in Africa and on the importance of strengthening U.S.-Africa partnerships to secure the United States supply chain of critical minerals. We face acute threats to those supply chains, and there are enormous opportunities for American businesses to flourish in Africa. For years, the Chinese Communist Party has been working systematically to dominate Africa's critical mineral sector. China is pouring billions into its Belt and Road Initiative. It uses infrastructure loans to trap African nations in debt and then leverages that debt to secure mining rights, as it does in so many other contexts to advance Chinese interests. China has gained control over cobalt, lithium, and other rare earth minerals in countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe. The CCP's activities have enabled China to attain a dominant global role in the processing and refinement of critical minerals, and to dramatically influence global supply chains, availability, and prices. Today, China refines more than 70% of the world's cobalt and controls a vast share of rare earth processing. That should alarm every American, because it means the economy, the energy transition, and even the defense supply chains depend on the Chinese Communist Party. The United States relies heavily on China to refine critical minerals, even those that originate in Africa. It is a glaring, persistent, and acute national security threat. No doubt, wherever possible, we should be seeking to onshore our critical mineral supply chain.
So Mr. Cruz have said everything. And, sometimes when I see them sit like this and talk about Africa, I ask myself if they do have an iota of shame in them at all. We're talking about a whole continent. None is present where see, when we talk about Berlin Conference, this is something that always repeats itself by day. Africa with her resources, why not let her be? You're getting involved. And China, they sure have a problem with China. America sure have a problem with China. You see how he analyzed the whole thing? And he's giving reasons why they need to compete with China for a position in Africa. So, in all that they do, they cannot survive without Africa. For those of you who are in these countries and you think that, you're in the first world nations, America is the heaven on earth. America is the Jerusalem. And then you talk down on Africans, especially some uninformed, young, melanated Americans who want to always sideline Africa and call Africa a dirty third world continent. And, I hope you're seeing that your life itself depends on Africa. And that is why your continent or country is struggling with China for a place in Africa. If Africa were so poor, like what you get from mainstream medias, if Africa does not have anything in her, why is the world struggling because of Africa? Everywhere you go, that there is an international, discussion, you must hear them talk about Africa. Why? Have you ever sat and thought about this? Have you ever called to you? Have you had a serious thought about this? Why is it that this world powers does not have any successful conversation without mentioning Africa? Because they can never do without Africa. Mind that word never. Stress it. Never. They can never survive without the continent. I don't know, you might get angry and say, okay, you overhyped. It's my continent. It's my mother. Africa is my mother. My life came out of Africa. I love Africa because I'm part of her. And so if I see that the world is being unfair to her, it will hurt me. It will surely hurt me. I don't know who you have decided to be. Maybe because you've lived outside of the continent so long that you've forgotten your own connection to Africa and you've decided to become something else. You threw Africa away. But I can't do that to my mother. I can't do that. Africa has suffered in the hand of these so-called superior powers for a very long time. In as much as we know that Africa is the Garden of Eden, Africa is the mother, Africa is feeding the world. But you have to respect the one that feeds you. You have to respect the one that gave you life. Africa gave life to the world, and Africa is still giving life to the world, and that will never change because Africa is the origin. But it baffles me to see that these same people whose life are emanating from the continent are not respecting, giving an iota of respect to Africa at all. And I'm not going to blame them, all thanks to the kind of, I don't know what to call them. Those who are sitting up there and say they are leaders, I don't know the name that I'm going to call them. All thanks to them, it is because of their behaviors that people look down on the continent. It is because they decide to be a puppet. That's why people look down on the continent. Your Majesties, and it's unfortunate because no matter how we try to cut ourselves from these people, they try to fix themselves through one betrayer or another. And that is why even associations, unions within the continent that should be for Africa is all funded by them. You see? It's all funded by them and founded by them. Or founded with their knowledge. So that they can have upper hand in controlling the motherland. It's unfortunate, but these are truths, these are facts that cannot be overemphasized. What do you think, Your Majesties? Leave your thoughts and opinion there at the section. I'm going to see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive, always, Your Majesties.